So I'll be talking about the environmental impact of animal agriculture. And so far you have heard some excellent talks on the benefits of a plant-based diet. But what I'm going to tell you now, it's no longer only about us. It's about our next generation too. Yeah. So let us start by understanding what is climate change. Now, there are certain gases in the Earth's atmosphere which retain the sun's heat, and this keeps the Earth warm. Now, this is necessary because without that, the Earth would get frozen up. But when these gases come in excess amounts, then the temperatures start rising, and we have, the major gas contributing to this is carbon dioxide. But methane and nitrous oxides are two other gases that, although less in amount, have a much stronger and higher global warming potential. So these are also equally important. And we have seen the effect of the increase in these gases over the past 100, 200 years when the global temperatures have been consistently increasing. And if we don't act, and basically we are not doing anything, the temperature is going to keep rising, and by 2100, by 4 to 8, 5 degrees, they are going to be more. Now, why is this so important? Because the temperature rising is going to cause ice melting. The glaciers have already started disappearing. The Arctic ice is already melting. The sea levels will rise. Now, it's estimated by 2050 millions will find themselves in flood zones. And when these people have to be relocated, we are going to have territory wars. More and more species will go extinct. All these beautiful coral reefs, nothing will be left. Monster storms, hurricanes, we are already seeing all these things happening. Devastation by floods, wildfires, record droughts and heat waves, crop failures, and even ocean acidification. But let me tell you that this is not something, far distant future. This is something which is predicted to happen by 2050. That's just 30 years from now. I mean, my children won't even be my age at that time. Do we want our children to grow up in such a kind of world? Not me, at least. So, where does animal agriculture come into the picture? Let me tell you. 10,000 years ago, humans formed a very small part of the world, the global biomass, and wild animals were in majority, huge majority. As the years passed, the human population just went on expanding, and the wild fauna unfortunately started decreasing. But this was not it. Humans didn't stop there. We started farming animals, right? And then we had to provide food for them. And now, in the past 40 to 50 years, this is what has happened. Wild fauna has becoming almost non-existent. Humans are going on multiplying. But what is far more important is the farmed animals. We keep saying 7.8 billion is the population, human population. It's so much. But do you know that population of farmed animals that we have produced is 70 billion? So why is this a concern? That the mere fact that these animals exist, what are they going to do? They will purr, they'll fart, they'll eat and drink, and they'll pee and poo. So this is a common thing, right? And each of this has some consequence. So let's look into that. Whenever these animals burp or they fart, they are going to release greenhouse gases. If you take the greenhouse emissions of these animals, it is more than all the transportation modes combined. It's even more than the emissions of Canada, Brazil, Australia, Italy, Spain, UK, Germany, Japan, France, South Korea, all put together on one side. Even that is less than that of the cows. As if that's not enough, livestock production is the biggest driver of deforestation, which again affects the climate. It's no wonder that meat and dairy food products account for more than 66% of the greenhouse gas emissions compared to all other foods. Now, the very fact that these animals exist, they are going to use up land. It is, very ironical that of the agricultural land that we use, 77% is used for livestock, only 23% for crops. But this 77% provides only 18% of the global calorie supply, and 82% calories are still derived from plant based. This is so inefficient planning. Even the proteins are more in amount from plant based. And this is because to feed one person, the land needed on a vegan diet is far less, while on a meat diet, it is 18 times more land is needed. Now, these animals are going to eat and drink. Now, humans also eat and drink, and lot of water and lot of food is consumed. This is consumed per day by humans. But this is nothing compared to what the cattle consumes. It is huge in amount. And if you compare, add in all the other animals, it is going to be a much bigger figure. Now, 1 in 6 people go each day without access to fresh drinking water. But the meat and dairy industry uses one third of Earth's fresh water. On a plant-based diet, each diet will save you around 92.5% water. That's because all the meat and dairy products are water-intensive products compared to plants. If you compare, one hamburger is equivalent to showering for 2 months or flushing your toilet for 6 months. 1 liter of milk is equivalent to using water for 14 laundries or 34 dishes. That's not it. Every time we eat, somebody suffers because 82% of world's starving children live in countries where food is fed to animals for export. Let me tell you what this means. Now, 1 billion people sleep hungry every day, and one third of the crops that we produce are fed to animals. In fact, these crops are enough to feed 3 billion people, meaning if we divert that food to humans, we can eliminate hunger 3 times over. Pee and poo, this is what the animals are going to do. And they do it 130 times more than humans. That is the quantity that they generate with zero waste treatment facilities for them. Now, where does all this poo go? We dump it into the water and it flows into our oceans. And we are creating dead zones. These are zones in oceans which can no longer support marine life. Just look at everything in blue and red these are all dead zones. And they're just spreading all over. Even India, all around India, these are happening. And that is because just look at this number. It is 1.2 lakh crore fish killed every year. And 40% of that is bycatch, meaning it is just unintentionally caught in the huge nets, not consumed and just discarded like that. At this rate, we'll have fishless oceans by 2048. But that's not it. 46% of all plastics which is just hanging in the oceans are fishing nets, just left there, and innocent marine life gets caught in that. Even the birds are not spared. All the birds which dip down to catch fish get entangled in these nets and they are killed. So we have looked at this aspect. The other important aspect, especially in current times, is a look at the pandemics. Now we are calling this coronavirus as the China virus and blaming the wildlife markets in Wuhan. But let me tell you, there is a strong link for all the previous pandemics with animal farming. The more humans come in contact with animals, the more these epidemics and pandemics are going to keep coming. Why? Because we crowd millions of animals together, we raise them in absolute filthy conditions and we pump them with antibiotics. Just imagine 75 to 80% of all antibiotics are actually used in animals. And these are not just any, silly antibiotics. These are antibiotics which are used for humans, very useful. Even higher order antibiotics which are used for multi-drug resistant infections. Now, why is this a problem? Let me explain. Now, when animals get antibiotics, they develop resistant bacteria in their guts. Right now, these resistant bacteria, they may not cause any harm to the animals, but they are passed on to the humans who do not have any immunity to this, either directly by consumption or through the excretions via plant food. Also, they can come into this, and these are known as zoonosis. Now, up to 75% of all new diseases that have come up in the past 10 years have come from animals. Michael Greger has said if you actually want to create global pandemics, then just build factory farms. It's that bad. Indian theme Dr. Rupa Madam has covered, but let me just touch upon. We tend to think, oh, beef, pork, it's all Western, India is nowhere involved. We are the fourth top emitter of carbon dioxide. We are the world's biggest producer and consumer of dairy because we have 20% of the world's cattle, and cattle is the one which is causing this the most. And we are the second largest exporter, not by a big margin, by a small margin, of beef in the world. So to conclude, at this consumption rate, by 2030 we will need 2 Earths to support our lifestyle, and we have only one. But every day on a plant-based diet, one person, a single person, can save an animal's life, 20 kgs of grain, 30 square feet of forest, and 4,200 liters of water. If you want to avoid all this, the simplest step that one single person can take is convert to a plant-based diet. It's simple, it's substantial, and it is spiritually uplifting. Thank you so much.